If you're afraid to cross boundaries, you're never gonna get anywhere. You're not gonna make any interesting work. You're just gonna repeat what other people have done.
My name is Aniela Hoiting and I translate technology and microbiology into tangible results.
I'm Daniel Leitinger. I used to study at the MIT Media Lab in the Tangible Media Group.
I'm Sebastian Neitsch. I'm part of the artist collective Quadratura.
I'm Aoife van Lindentol. I'm an artist.
I'm Jussi Agnesleva and I'm working in the design studio Art.com and then teaching in 2 different universities.
My name is Aphrodite Xara. I'm a media artist working with the textiles and experimenting with sound.
I'm Annalie Berner and I'm a researcher at the Copenhagen Institute for Interaction Design.
My name is Jan Bernstein. I'm part of Quadratura. It's a Berlin-based art collective.
My name is Cécile Lacroix. I'm a informational physicist, researcher. I've been working at CERN.
I'm Juliane Gott. I'm as well part of Quadratura.
It takes a fair amount of time to collaborate, to understand what different people mean with the same words. So the kind of insight about what you are actually doing when you're collaborating between arts and sciences, it crystallizes normally only over time. So it's not at the beginning that you are just executing something that you have a common vision for, but you develop an understanding of what people think about what you thought was maybe quite something else. What we're showing here is a series of 3 product service systems that are algorithmically defined and basically websites within which you can then tweak meaningful parameters that create striking designery form as a baseline for a physical product. So there's a table and a lamp and a ring like this, made of silver, and a table that is milled with street maps and a lampshade that you define where the lighting is supposed to be going and not how the lamp should look like. What the lamp looks like is a generative result of your decision where the light should be.
I've done commercial fashion for more than 12 years and I came to a point that I either could be a manager or do something else. It's a huge difference from where I came from and what I'm doing now. Something that I aim to do with this project, which is called Mycotex. I've done research on using fungi together with textiles. Instead of using fungi with a substrate, I chose to use pure material and developed a way to remain the flexibility and being able to make a garment out of it. We live in a disposable society and we still make clothes that last for 40 years. But we buy clothes that maybe last for 1 or 2 years. So why are we doing that? Why shouldn't we make clothes that only last for 1 or 2 years and then you can bury it in the ground and it's decomposing instead of adding up to this textile waste mountain? Because textiles are the 2nd most polluting industry in the world after oil.
Interacting with people and getting them to give me something opens up a relationship with the audience that's unusual and very intimate actually, because they tell me very deep things about themselves. So that's a little bit of what my work is about. I did science and art at school. My A-levels, I was doing art and science and maths. Then when I went to do a degree, I couldn't really find a degree that did art and science together because it didn't exist in that time. So I chose the art route, but my interests and my instincts are always also drawn to chemistry and cosmology. Explosives are everything to me. When I think about explosives, the whole universe is made from explosions and we're all made from the stars. That's the only place that anything other than hydrogen and helium was created.
We don't work in a scientific manner. There are very strict rules how to work as a scientist. And there are some similarities between scientists and artists, I would say, like how much emotion you put into something, that you never really stop trying, that you always try to push for the limit. but definitely not a scientist. I hope to be an artist.
We are showing 3 works. 2 of them are coming from the wonderful residency we had with the Ars Electronica and the ESO, the European Southern Observatories in Chile. It is one kinetic work which is called Masses, that stands for Motors and Stones Searching Equilibrium State. The main theme of the installation is the idea that we build a machine that is constantly only trying to calibrate itself to find the ideal balance, but will never achieve to reach it. The second work is called Stones, which stands for Storage Technology for Observed Nearby Extraterrestrial Shelters. Stones is a kind of long-term storage project where we take the information we currently have about exoplanets in the habitable zone. And the habitable zone is marked by the distance to the mother star where water could be liquid, so where we believe that life could develop. These exoplanets already exist since many million of years and will do so for the next million of years. But currently they are stored on SSD drives, so on a very short-lasting storage technology.
We use the hardened stone on Earth. It's granite, black granite, and we use a laser technique to bring the information in the stone. So we have 2 surfaces which you can put together, and when you put it together it's safe. The shape is more a monolith. It's just a really rectangular, massive stone, and when you open it you can find the information about the exoplanets and the data. In kind of this project, it was nice to say, okay, we don't like to think about now, just traveling to Chile, see the landscapes, the technology, meet the astronomers, the technicians.
We will meet again our main astronomer, I would say. It was Fernando Comeron. He is the ESO representative in Chile, and he had almost 2 weeks time for us, for answering our questions, for showing us around, and you will be very curious now to hear what he thinks about the works we've done out of those experiences.
As an artist, I get the chance to experiment with things that are out of my access as a beginning. So, like collaborating with a scientist, you have an insight of how things work. It opens up a whole new world of possibilities, basically, for experimentation.
Yeah.
We are sewing together one piece that is called Cosmic Beat Casting, and it's basically a wearable cosmic ray detector that we developed during a 1-month residency at the Etopia Center for Art and Technology in Zaragoza in Spain. We experimented with creating our own textile detector that is exhibited separately from the wearable. And of course, when we collaborated in creating the project, she had a very active part in the whole creation of the wearable. It was a great collaboration. It wasn't just, I don't know, scientist and artist, and the scientist giving the technical knowledge only, and the artist doing, the creative work. I think we both did creative work and scientific.
We're showing a couple of research projects together with other research groups. There's also Carlo Ratti and Artcom that are showing, where we're trying to show people new approaches to how we could interact with computers. When it comes about building new types of interfaces for humans using computers, you can't just say this is computer science or this is software engineering or this is hardware design. It really has to be all of it, because in the end you're designing objects that are used by humans, so you need to use design, you need to be inspired by art, ideally produce art, in order to make that happen.
We're showing 4 projects. Each one is considering future living scenarios, one of which is about how we would experience cars in the future when maybe parts of the car are interacting with the environment around it. So it's called Window to the World. and children can draw on the window that they see in their car, and when they draw on it, it will tell them information about the environment outside. The next one is called Future Self Mirror. It's about the idea that you could look in the mirror and see yourself in terms of how you're currently living your life, from a health, from a food perspective, things like that. See yourself in the future. So how will all these things affect you in the future? If this is the science side and this is the art side, I'm stepping on the science, but I'm skewed more towards the art.
You know, when I first came to MIT, most of the work that I had done was software engineering. So I would program and I would design. And then suddenly I started making hardware. And a lot of people would say, you know, that's not really something that is your expertise. You shouldn't really touch that.
You need to have kind of freedom to experiment and to fail.
It's not that I don't make a difference between art and science. I think there is a distinction between working in science and working in art.
There have been amazing examples in history of these kind of brilliant collaborations or brilliant individuals who themselves have both pillars really strong in them.
In my mind, when I look at the universe, I think of the two things together in the context of my artwork.
For me, it's not so much a question if science and art should work together. I think we all should always, with all the genres, work together in a common basis. So, yes, of course.